Kenny Bruce, Scene Daily. Carl, one time you were teammates with Mark Martin. He's making his 800th start here Sunday. What did you learn working alongside him?
I've still learned things from Mark Martin. He's a guy that, he's making his 800th start. He's probably sitting in the trailer right now, going over everything that went on in this practice, caring as much or more than anybody in the garage how fast he is. Everything in him goes towards being the fastest race car driver he can be. And that level of dedication is something that I didn't, I didn't really understand that people were capable of that. And then I was around Mark, and I thought, man, this guy's giving it 150% every time he goes to the racetrack. And I still draw off of that. I still use him as an inspiration when I'm working out or when I'm practicing or talking to Bob or something. I think about that a lot.
In the back.
Jonathan Merriman, WSLS. What are your thoughts of having practice today and qualifying being moved to tomorrow? How does that affect how you guys approach the weekend?
That's something, practicing today and then qualifying tomorrow, I think will test the drivers a little bit more, because you're going to have to remember what that lap was like for 24 hours or 20 hours or something like that, where usually, you get out of the car, you don't have much time, you don't have a lot going on between practice and qualifying. Now I think it'll test who's kind of mentally tough and who can go out there and remember that lap from yesterday and run the perfect lap. So it will be harder.
How important is the mental aspect at this track? You're getting so frustrated all the time.
Yeah, the mental aspect of this track I think is as tough as any of them. It's second, maybe close to a road course race, and that you have to really race the racetrack. You have to do your best to ignore the cars that you're racing on if they're catching you or working you over really hard. You got to keep focused on what you're doing. You've got to give and take, and then in qualifying, it's really you don't have any time to mess up. You got to get your lap perfect, your 2 laps perfect, and move on. You can't. There's just no room for error. A tenth of a second here that's everything. So a 100th of a second is important.
Steve.
Steve Urshers, the PRN. Texas, Carl, Nationwide Series, you ended Kyle Busch's 5-race winning streak. How satisfied was that last year? Or how satisfying was that on a personal level?
We won at Texas. I don't remember. So I'm sorry. What? Oh, that's where I jumped the restart. Yeah. Good call. That was a satisfying race. We raced hard all day. We had the car to beat. I felt like that was. It's all coming back to me now. That was the first time we'd driven up to those Gibbs cars and just driven by them and had the fastest car in a long time at a mile and a half. And so that was a real satisfying race. I think everybody on the team after that race, they had a lot more confidence. We realized going into this season, look, we work on this new engine. We keep working on our cars. We're gonna be able to beat these guys. So that was a big race.
Johnny.
Carl, Johnny Buck with the Martinsville Bulletin. I have 2 questions. First, I was wondering, do you think you need to be a good athlete to be successful at the Sprint Cup level? And then secondly, I was wondering, what type of an edge can a driver get from being in excellent physical condition?
I don't think you have to be in excellent physical condition to drive a race car. I know it helps me. We talked about Mark Martin earlier. He's a guy who's he says he's 50 or 51 or whatever, but who knows how old he really is. And he's unbelievable. He doesn't get tired at the end of the races. He's as strong and as fit as anyone, whether they're 18 years old or 30 or 50. I mean, he's a tough guy. And I think that, I don't speak for him, but I look at him as a guy who I feel like that helps him a lot to stay competitive, not only in each race, but each season and throughout his career. So for me, being fit is important. I feel like at the end of the races, I have maybe a more of a will to compete and a will to win because I'm not so physically tired, as I might be if I didn't work out.
Does it help you stay on your game mentally?
I think it can help you mentally. I mean, the bottom line is your health is your health. So if you try to do the best you can with your health, then that helps you in a lot of ways. I know I've done it both ways. I used to laugh at people that work out like I do. I used to think that was silly, and now that I've kind of committed to it a little bit, I feel a lot better.
Dick.
Is it really hot in here, you guys? Man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
We'll have them turn it down for you, Carl.
yeah, just you crack the door. It won't hurt anything. I mean, it's good. All right.
Dick Berggren, NASCAR on Fox. You got a new tire here this weekend, Carl. How's it behaving in terms of tire buildup on the racetrack, and what are you expecting Sunday for tire buildup?
There was a lot of tire buildup out there just in practice, a lot. The thing that happens here is you get that buildup on the racetrack, on the racing line. I didn't see any of that in practice. I just saw a lot of marbles, big marbles. I ran up into them a couple times, and it took a full lap to clear them off of the tire. The thing that happens here, though, is you get that buildup in the racing lane, and that really changes a long run. All of a sudden, you've got to either straddle it or drive under it, because if you hit it, it's it upsets the car really badly. So I guess we'll just see if that happens this race.
What else for Carl?
You were talking earlier about that you're looking at the points and noticing how easy it is to lose, but it seems as if it's gone in the other direction too. I think Biffle went from like 30th to 21st in 2 races, and Burton last week finished outside the top 10, went 30th to 25th. I mean, has that surprised you too? And
yeah, and I don't know if that's mathematically how that's worked. I don't know if it's because other guys have had bad races or if they've just run that well. I just have to look at it, but I mean, it's just math, and there's got to be somebody's probably done all the math and figured out what the exact differences are in the points. But it looks like from the outside that the big difference in point field, that ratio from 43rd to first is much greater than it used to be. But around maybe 20th, 25th, it's almost the same. So I'd have to look at the math, but it is interesting how much of a change we're seeing. I don't know exactly why that is, though. What's that? Yeah, I think everybody's still kind of understanding the ways that you can gain or lose from this point system. But, I mean, really it just looks like it's the bad races to me that can – I mean, you could – if I messed up our engine and we don't catch it and we blow up on lap 50 and the guys who are running second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth in points finish in the top, 6 or 7, I mean, it's going to really change the way our points look for us. So I think that's the biggest danger.
What else for Carl? Anything else before we let him go? Nope. Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys.